Right now, this is Ticker News Insight.
Hello and welcome back to Ticker News Insight, where we're looking to focus on the best of business, speaking to very clever people joining us from all around the world. I'm your host, Mike Loder, and to my latest story for the moment. And joining me now is Oliver Harvey, the EVP of Customer Strategy and Innovation from tech specialists Nuix. And as part of a global experts, which he is, he's keen to share his views on how companies are moving to protect their customers' data through the use of technology, an extremely prevalent conversation going on at the moment. Oliver, thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure, Mike. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. So what personal data are organisations required to hold? I know they ask a lot of questions, often just to sign up for certain things. Are they asking too much, or why are they asking all of this data from their customers and clients?
It's a really interesting question, isn't it? Because I think over the last couple of months, what we've all been exposed to is the fact that organisations hold a lot more of our personal data than possibly some of us had ever imagined. There are a whole range of reasons for that, but one good example, which most of your viewers will be familiar with, is the 100-point check, which the money laundering obligations here in Australia require all financial institutions and anyone else opening up a bank account to provide swathes of personal information to their particular institutions so that those accounts can be initiated and that those customer arrangements can be commenced. And so when we look at the kind of data that gets handed over, it's part of the 100-point check, passports, licenses, a whole bunch of things which people hold dear to their heart. And we see those as the most frequently compromised piece of personal information that's now being shared across the dark web. So it's important, scary, but very high profile stuff at the moment.
Absolutely. Hey, can we touch on why there's a time lag between the identification and of those unauthorized access and the confirmation data has been breached? There's always a bit of a time delay before people even realize that something's gone wrong, especially in big organizations at times.
It's a really interesting point, isn't it? And I think studies have shown that on average, it takes about 3 to 6 months for organisations to even identify the fact that there has been an intrusion. So you've got a bad actor across your network doing stuff for 3 to 6 months before you even realise you've got a problem. So it's a significant issue. There are a whole range of reasons. Sophistications of attacks are only increasing, but one really significant issue is that just vast volumes of data that almost all large organisations hold at the moment. And trying to understand that data, get to the bottom of it, identify what's been compromised is a really significant challenge, and it's very, very difficult to do manually, particularly in circumstances where most organisations find that their data governance arrangements have grown organically over the course of time. Trying to nut out exactly what's happened when there's been a cyber intrusion or a data breach is a really, really significant challenge, which we increasingly find here at Nuix. Only technology can help you solve, and only particular type of technology can help you get to the bottom of that in the kind of speed that not just customers really expect of organisations, but board and executives in those highly stressed moments need to rely on to get to the answer more quickly.
Absolutely. Oliver, can you provide any examples of how large financial institutions specifically, and I guess healthcare companies as well, are moving to protect their customers? They're big organisations, big data, a lot of personal data as well.
A lot of organisations are launching and continuing to refine their data governance frameworks and approaches to the way in which they manage their data that the customers provided to them. Like I said earlier, a lot of this stuff has grown up organically. So being able to find that data in the first place so that you can manage it properly is a really significant first step. And to give you an example, Nuix worked recently with one of the large big banks here in Australia to identify where that organisation had held the tax file numbers of its customers. The Privacy Act here in Australia requires tax file numbers to be deleted once they're no longer in use, which is easy to say but difficult to do when you're a vast organisation. And what we did with our technology in partnership with the large bank here in Australia was to sweep across 280 million documents, which doesn't sound like something that could be easily done, but for those organisations, that's a drop in the ocean. 280 million documents is not a lot, but you're not going to do it without technology and being able to find tax file numbers in all sorts of databases and other parts of the organisation to manage your both risks and your compliance obligations is something that we worked recently with a large bank, and there's a huge appetite across the financial institutions in Australia and more broadly healthcare organisations to do exactly that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you guys just became very, very valuable members of the community as we become more and more of a digital based world, and of course more of this stuff continues to happen. But Oliver, that's all the time I've got for you today. I want to thank you for joining us and explaining a little bit about how Nuix is helping people stay protected, and of course a broader discussion about the landscape as well. Hopefully I can reconnect with you down the line, because as we know, this is an ongoing thing, and the story is not over yet.
Appreciate the invitation, Mike. Thank you.
And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in. I've been your host, Mike Loader. Be sure to head to tickernews.co for breaking news from around the world. I look forward to reconnecting with you soon. Be safe, be well, all the best.